Hi there, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my art room and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's nice to have you here join me. And today I'm working on the background for my still life project, which is from the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery Volume 7. And I've still been working on putting together my background piece. I'm doing something slightly different in that I'm doing a series or a set of 4 smaller ones that will join together. While they won't necessarily hang on the wall, right beside each other, there'll be a space. I'd like them to kind of, all work together to make this still life project. So where I've got to so far, this is the top right hand side. I'm just doing a running stitch to stitch it all, the 2 layers together, as including the collage pieces. So the backing is just calico. This is like a damask serviette. And what I've done is made sure that my stitching goes right to the edge, so that when I put any pressure on it, stress on it, when I'm stretching it onto the canvas, I want that to stay in place. So I'm making sure that that stitching goes right to the very edges, and I'm doing that too. In my previous video, I was overcasting some of the collage pieces on this bottom piece here, and I didn't like the look of it. After I finished videoing, I thought, nah, I'm just going to go back to doing that all over running stitch in a canthus style. The table has been done as well, and I'm now just adding some embellishment onto the table surface because, yeah, that's where I'm up to. I didn't really want to get too far in advance. This one is the top left hand side, and I've left some space here because that'll probably be where some of the things that are on the table will be. And this piece here that's blank at the top here won't matter because it'll actually fold over like that when it's on the canvas. I've already measured it and I know that that will fold over. And so I'm working on here. I had a blank piece just here that I thought, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I thought left it for a little bit because I just needed to think about it for a little bit. And then I'm just adding some extra bits onto the table here. Cool. All right, so I just thought I'd come back on and start, keep working on this while I had a little chat to you. We've had a couple of busy days and lots of hot days. We were just talking about the fact that we haven't had this kind of continuous heat for quite some time. It's normally warm, it's normally hot here in the summertime, but this just feels like it's been day after day after day, not a lot of relief. It does sort of cool down in the evenings. I mean, having air-conditioned homes helps. It's not too terrible to sleep in. I wouldn't like it if we didn't have air conditioning. There'd be no fun in that, I can tell you right now. But we don't keep it going all night, but we've cooled the house down by the time we go to bed. I just noticed that little bit there wasn't held down, so I'm just going to go back and put a stitch in that there. And so that's the top part of the wall, if you like. And that I have almost finished with. I just need to, I don't know where my little scissors are, they're just here somewhere. I just can't see them right at this very second. No. Cool. I'm just using a crochet cotton. This is one I picked up at the op shop. It says Semco 80 20 grams, which is probably just the weight. 80s probably. You know, it's quite fine. It's not as fine as normal sewing thread's concerned, but it's definitely not sort of in that, the pearl cotton range. It's quite thin, but it's got a bit of strength, and that's what I wanted. Cool. Good. Yeah. So, my grandson's, one of my grandsons is having a sleepover with me tonight. His little sister is in hospital having her tonsils out, and so my daughter's staying with her, and he's staying with me while Dad works. So that's all right. We've been to the pool today and had a swim, and now we're just both having a bit of a chill out in the afternoon. We've decided on having takeaway for tea just because, no other reason, just because they came last week and had some sleepovers and we did lots of cooking, but this week we've decided to have a break and have a bit of takeaway, so that's nice. So we've agreed on that menu, so that's good. Cool. So I hope you're all well. I hope you're all safe and sound, and particularly people that are living in the States where all the bushfires are around LA. We've certainly been keeping an eye on that on our news, and it's something that I think we're all feeling. Our hearts go out to the people that have been affected by those. But I hope this finds you all well. That was a bit of a bigger stitch, that one. Do I want to leave it in there? Oh, it'll probably end up being hidden. As you can see, all I'm doing is I'm just tracking around the perimeter of this piece of doily. Oh, it's quite, it's a bit hard to put your needle through. It's not going to be nice if I have to put little delicate flowers on, but hopefully I don't have to. Hopefully I'll choose to do differently around that. Good. I was just thinking about the process of this and not planning too far ahead and just trusting the process, really. It's hard for some people to plan something without knowing what the end result's going to be. Certainly it's hard for me. I don't claim to be an expert at that, but some time ago I did an art journaling course over a few years, and in 2016 we did this, it's kind of like a mystery challenge, and each week, I think it was each week, or it could have been once a month or something. I can't actually remember the whole process of it now, and I couldn't find the information about it. But I thought I would share something with you. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and it's certainly got nothing to do with this, but kind of just, it made me think about what I would say is trusting the process. I'll leave that there for a second and share this with you. So this is a piece of artwork that I did in 2016, and as I said, each week it was a prompt that we were given, and this is mixed media: paper, paint, ink, stamping, drawing, collaging, whatever. But each week we were given a prompt and we didn't know where we were going in the end. And some of those prompts were, stamp all over the, stamp all over it. You can see there's bits of stamping going on. Dabble your fingers in some paint, and this looks like fingerprints. I actually think we started this way because it was, put the date on. So the 20th of May 2016 was the date. Maybe pick out 3 colours that you want to use, but I don't know. And this olivey green colour, after we'd done everything, paint all over it. And there were times where I'd go, oh my gosh, have I really got to do that? And then dribble, white paint down it, now turn it upside down. And then start again, add, some piece of scenery or something. Put a picture frame on, add some blocks of colour. Pick another colour, just pick another colour. Add a block of colour, bits and pieces, add some doodling over the top, with white. Add a frame, a picture frame, and then add a face. And at the time I was also repeat a pattern. So I've got these big daisy shapes that, possibly you can see. There's some little ones over here. There's some more in here, under here. Add a face. Where am I going with all of this? It's like, if they had have said to me, have a texture background, put a face in a frame, include your favourite colours or whatever, I would never have had this amount of background going on. And even though I covered a lot of it up, I don't think this would look like what it does without that. There are bits of butterfly and there are fingerprints in here. And there are dribbles going down that have been, stopped and started. And, there might be some bits of, splotches of watercolour, whatever it is. I was practicing painting faces at the time, learning how to draw a face. And, this was sort of in amongst my, journals that I just ended up cutting up rather than cut a face out, cover one eye, or, there were all sorts of funny hints to do. But really the thing that I'm trying to emphasise is that without having all of that underneath first, I don't think I would have done that from the top down. So, and I think we get a bit precious, like we go, I won't put that under that face because I'll lose it. But when it goes under there and you've got no control, well, you do have control, but if you're just going to go along with it, it just adds to the thing. Now there's some words here that it probably was, something that was said at the time. And really hard to read, so I'll read it. And it's the processes to do things I might have tried, otherwise blind faith to keep going. And I guess that's probably the message here. It's like, well, we have no idea where we're going. It's trust the process. Blind faith. We know the girls won't lead us up the garden path. They haven't before and they won't now. And so whatever happens is going to happen. And I thought I was going to be a bit more protective about my fabrics and what I added into the background, because it was like, they're really gorgeous and they are Rachel's fabrics and I don't want to cover them up. But now I'm like, I don't mind if some of it gets covered up with whatever it is that's going to be our very first prompt next week, because I know it's there and it's just going to add to the story. And I think that I'm okay with that. At the moment, this could finish here and it looks okay. It's not, it's not ugly. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It's just kind of bits of, collaged fabrics in all sorts of, in different layouts on each of the squares. But I could do something else with them if I really wanted to. Oh, I'm just seeing a pin in there. Gosh, that was lucky. That's right there. Wow. I hope there were none others in there. Hope there were none others underneath. Oh, no, I don't think there are. Golly. Nelly. Stitched over that pin. That was lucky. Yep. So that was all a bit philosophical, wasn't it? But it was a fun project to do. We actually, with that art journaling course that I did, we did it a couple of times with different tutors. One time we did it, it was like live, and they're all in the UK and I'm in Australia, so while they're getting up, I'm going to bed, and vice versa. So it was get up really early one morning, and really was far too early because it was still sort of reasonably timed in the UK, and it was actually during COVID, and it was a postcard class, and we had to join a bit like this actually, 4 pieces of cardboard together to, quite large, like it took up a lot of room on the table, and joined them all together. And then because it was live, you really didn't have time to think. They said, these are the things you're going to need. You're going to need your glue stick, and you're going to need, maybe 3 colours of paint, black and white, whatever, some collage papers, your favourite, prints or whatever it was. I can't actually remember. And then it was just go flat out. And we didn't have time to think. You could have cheated, gone back and watched it, but I decided to have a go at it live. Oh gosh, it was fun. And just running like mad, using stencils, using jelly prints, and they would give you a chance to dry things off if you needed to, but mostly it was keeping on going really fast, honestly to goodness, and then cut it up. So then we cut it up into sort of postcard sizes and which I still have somewhere. I just need to find them. Oh, what a fun project. And individually, each postcard is just gorgeous. It looks great on a great big piece of paper. No, it looked crazy. But it's just, again, the message about trusting the process, that the people that we're following have, some thoughts in their head, and they're talented people in their own right. And like I said, not going to lead us up the garden path, I don't think. That was just me having a bit of a gibber about that. Because I know I'd seen a few people's comments that they were struggling when they didn't know where they were going, and, were waiting, for, to see what happens next. And, there were just, a couple of, things that I'd seen on the Facebook site that I felt for the people who were going, I don't know what I'm doing here, and, I need to have an end picture in my head, that this is just another process. Cool. All right. I hope you can find some joy in it and some fun in it. for what it is. I always think that nothing's lost. Just change it, make it into something else. Don't like it? That's what I do. Or unpick it. I'm a great unpicker. If I don't like it, I unpick it. I unpicked those other bits that I didn't like when I overcast the pieces on to the background. I am overcasting this one though because the other fabrics go in under the table, and I came in a bit late with this one. I've already sewed the table down, and no, I'm not going to unpick it. I'm just going to overcast it and then hope that that will hold it down a little bit better. They're fairly small overcast stitches. And, you know, while you couldn't see the overcast stitches, I just like the look of the continuous running stitch better. And in particular across those walls. So, yeah, that was, yeah, the only reason why I did it. I think all my stitching is a bit of, you know, don't know what I'm going to do. There's a great saying about from Picasso, Pablo Picasso, that let me think about where I saw it. It says, inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. And I find that that's exactly right. I sometimes can look and look and look and look, and nothing happens until I actually pick up a piece of material, paper, I nearly said, well, that too, and, you know, maybe a pin, and then all of a sudden I get inspired and I think, oh yes, I could do this or I could do that. So yeah, it's a good saying. And I can actually have this that has been sitting on the table for a couple of days because, well, number one, I didn't actually have time to do it, but I thought I'd just have a look as I walked past and couldn't get inspired with it at all. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I picked it up and I started doing the running stitch, I was like, oh, now I feel a bit better about it all. It's in my hand. And now I can think about, oh, maybe I can do a bit of this, or I could do a bit of that. And, you know, I hadn't even thought about putting this bit of doily on here, and now I'm quite happy that I am putting it on there. So, yeah, so hopefully you're finding the fun of those things too. I'm just going to do a little running stitch around this part here just to make sure that it stays down, because these little bits will be easy to pick up, and if they're going to pick up all of this as well, then you know, run the risk of it tangling or getting ripped or something. Too bad I didn't see that. It's got just a bend in it there. It's just you know, it's old, and it's just got a little kink in it, which will fold those bits up too. And the other little bits of, these little bits of fabric are just some old bits that I had collected them from somewhere. I can't remember. It was either at one of the retreats where people have little bits and pieces of things that they share that you're allowed to, you know, help yourself to. So that's why I don't really know, can't remember whose retreat it was that I collected those. Somebody's. No memory of that. I shall have to get out there and water the garden soon. Might be a bit of running under the sprinkler to cool off while we water the veggies and the herbs. They'll be wilting in this heat. listening to me. Too busy doing what he's doing on the computer. Cool. All right. Well, I think I've chatted on about nothing now, or too many things that I've been thinking about, and subjected you to that information, whether you wanted it or not. I will continue. I'll keep stitching here. I'll add a little bit of this, and I'll come back for a little final show and tell of when I'm done, because then that's it. I'm not going to do probably any more now till we get our first prompt. Anyway, be back in a sec. Okay, well, I'm nearly done. I can't believe it. I'm so excited that I've actually almost finished my background, and I'm on time. Sorry, I'm still stitching just the last couple of last little rows. I'll show you just how I'm going to put them together, just because they're a little bit different to having one large piece. But as I said, one large piece was probably not going to find a home in my home, so yeah, I just decided not to do that. I'm not sure what you guys are deciding. If you're deciding to do a big one, lots of people are, and they're looking fantastic. And I think it's just that whole, when we're doing a book or something, we don't have to think about where we're going to put it. But actually doing something that you're going to hang on the wall, a little bit more daunting. But I'm quite happy with my 4 little panels that I've done. My family have gone off to buy some takeaway for tea, so I thought I've got a few more minutes that I can do some stitching, and then I'll be ready to go with this, so that's pretty exciting for me. All right, I'm going to do another row. I know that it's not very far apart, but I just want to catch that last edge in there. I've actually sewed that bit down, so I don't have to go all the way to the bottom. I just want to catch this last little edge, and I quite like these little bits of old linen. I think this one must have been on something else. You can see where it was probably had a, where it was a bit folded or something, a bit faded. Might have been a doona cover or a sheet or something. I have no idea. The piece of fabric that I have was just exactly that piece, and that's all. But yeah, I'm nearly done. And like I said before, when I was getting all a bit D&M, if I did nothing else with it, I think I'm quite happy with these bits of fabric that I could change and do something else with. Enjoying what the girls are doing and showing us, as always. I've participated in all of their little stitch along projects and have loved them. Quite honestly, if they stopped, I don't know what I would do. They certainly inspire me to stitch, and slow stitching wasn't something that I actually had in my repertoire prior to starting these projects. I'd done a weeny little bit through COVID where I got a taste of it, and I was following another person, Anne Brooks, that started me on this little journey. But I'd certainly been following Rachel prior to that, and found Anne Brooks as a result of Rachel. So forever grateful for all the people that participate in these projects and inspire us and get us going. All right. So my thought about these is that with this one, because that's an edge, I thought that can cope with being on the edge of my canvas when I get to doing that. I mean, we're obviously not going to be doing that for till June maybe, and they'll fold over there. So yep, I'll lay out these 4 and show you what they look like, and by then my tea should be here, so I'll be done. Okay, cool. All right, give me 2 seconds to do that and then we're done. I'm just simply going to fold them over for now so that you can kind of see where I'm headed, and then I'll stretch you out on with the camera. But with each one, they're just folding over like that, and they'll hang as a foursome. Just stretching in front of you there. Again, just having the piece of collage just be the bit. That one's going to go there. I need to move things along my table here. And one more, which is this one. Again, just making sure that those edges will go to there. Cool. All right. Now, if I can swizzle you around without you getting too seasick. Oh, who would know what I did there? Banged it on something. All right, cool. All right, so that's kind of where I'm going with this. You know, that one will tuck under there. Doesn't want to right now. You know, those bits are sort of joining, even though they go over the frame. Once they're on the wall, you know, you'll see those bits that go over the side like that. I've got a few black lines that I need to, oh goodness, all fingers and thumbs. Oh, maybe you've got the idea. Cool. All right, good. There's my background from the bottom to the top, from side to side, and I think that's it. I can call it done for now. Once we get the next prompt, I'll work out where things are going to go. But you know, I envision things coming up and over. Probably I'll go from this side, biggest to smallest, maybe over this way, kind of ish. Whatever happens on the table. Good. Oh, sorry, that was a bit of a click. All right, I'm done. I'm done with this. I will put a little thumbnail on this video to show you where you are. I'll probably try and pin the bits in there so that they look a bit more neat and tidy. Cool. All right. Take care. I hope you're all doing well and having fun with this project that's new to us all, and I'm sure that we'll all end up with something magnificent, as we always do. Cool. Thanks, Rachel and Sarah, for prompting us along here. It's a great project. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye for now.